Hey guys, hope you're all doing well. Happy Monday. So let me just first immediately start by saying my bad. Because as I was thinking about the stream last night, I was thinking about the fact that I sat there. I'm the guy that tells you that like rock sling is like the best spell in the game, right? I'm the guy that's sitting there telling you that, and then last night I didn't even try. Remember, I even said I'm gonna try rock sling, and then I didn't use it. Hey, 365, and then I didn't even use it. I realized that I didn't even try that. I just kept trying to use full move for some reason. And I'm the one telling you the whole way through the game, well, rock sling's pretty much the best. Like, don't listen to what people say. Like, eventually it's the best. Yeah, and I didn't even try it. And so here's the deal. What I will say is that if I hit a target 3 times in a row and it doesn't count, that seems weird, yes. However, what I will say is it's possible, since I didn't try rock sling, I tried full moon, it is possibly as immunity to spell damage, that type, because rock sling is my physical damage. It's gravity type, so it's technically picking up earth and rock and actually throwing it at the enemy. So I know that, and I didn't even test it for some reason. I just literally totally just blinked out of my brain for some reason. So that's my bad for not trying that and not actually like listening to my own advice. So I have to do that. I have to try it, and I have to at least give that a shot, you know. So it's good to see you, man. I'm glad you're here. Thanks for being here. Have I tried Fallen Feathers? What do you mean? Is that a game? Oh, Wu Chai, yeah. I didn't realize it was called Fallen Feathers. I just knew it was called Wu Chai. Yeah, I have not tried that yet. I heard it's pretty good. I've been hearing pretty good things. What do you think? I was watching you play it. I watched some of your stream. I'll be honest, I haven't seen. It was, I think, when you were first playing it. Do you like it? It seemed like you did. Nice. So, okay, in case you're just joining us, last night I realized what I did was I didn't try Rock Sling, which is the spell that I've been telling you is awesome. I've been sitting here saying that the whole time. And then I went and not tried it. And so basically what happens is, it is possible if you use that full moon spell 3 times in a row, while unlikely, it is possible that, yeah, his immunity canceled the spell 3 times, and so trying Rock Sling and not seeing if that's something that happens too, where that's a physical damage type coming from a spell, because again, Rock Sling is a gravity spell. Now, the funny thing is, also, so yeah, while unlikely, it is possible. I also stupidly didn't, what's it called? Yeah, Meteorite of Estelle. I literally didn't even, so when I first used this, and I was first trying this particular spell, part of my issue that I was having was I didn't understand the spell. Like, I first used this when I got it, I went to, like, somewhere with, like, an incline, and I did this twice, I think. I think I used it where I normally go, where, like, all those dudes are, you know, for my rune grinding, and then I used it, if you remember, to get that one big dragon, but that's also a big hill. So I thought the spell just was really weird with how it fell, and I thought that it was going to be hard to use on like a boss. I understand it now, because I simply used it somewhere else when I was playing earlier, and I was like, oh man, this is pretty cool. If only I had known. And it's only because when I first tried the spell went to the back of my mind when I thought, I guess it wasn't that good. No, it's really good. So there's that. I might actually have to try this too. I'll admit to not really trying this one after getting it, but I think I'm gonna end up doing it with my gravity spells. I'll be honest, I think I'm gonna end up doing it with my gravity spells. Because like I said, I think those 3 times in a row happened because I was using Full Moon, which again is a spell, a sorcery. Rock Sling, yes, it's a spell, but it's throwing rock at the enemy, so it's a physical damage type. So he can't, like, he can have all the immunity that he wants, unless he's got physical armor, which they don't, really, and you could see that. And so, like, I know that, and I stated this before, that's why Rock Sling is amazing and stuff like that once you level it up. I've said this, I just totally blanked that out last night and didn't even try it. I just kept trying to use Roiling Magma and Full Moon. So we're gonna try Rock Sling and a few different things here. Pretty crazy. Oh, I also what'd I do? I redid my stats one more time. So I have 2 larval tears left. My stats are what they are, guys. I'm not doing it anymore. I am saving those for when I need them. So that's it. The bit that we did, that's what we're gonna do. I have 2 left. I'm not using them. So my stats are what they are. I added, I think, a bunch to... I took some out of endurance because I just decided I didn't need my endurance so high. And part of the reason for that is because I was discovering, even though you can see it's really low there, it looks like my stamina's low, I was discovering that, like, some of my first attacks and spells, because of the way my build is, something is causing that first, sometimes couple attacks to not even use stamina. So I'm like, well, I can take some points out of there then. So I did, and I put them in mind, and I put them in, I think, intellect, intelligence. I also switched my talismans a little bit. Just a little bit. I realized what I should do is get rid of the one that increases... I think I got rid of the vigor one and I increased, like, spell potency. Something like that. So we'll see how this goes. I messed with some things because I changed those stats. Hello. So, yeah, I just figured I'd let you guys know, and let you guys know that, yeah, I definitively have decided to, listen to my own advice and use the gravity spell. So we'll see how this goes. Of course, I didn't select my, you probably saw I didn't select my summon, so that was my first mistake already. I kept doing that, too. I was tired. I really was. Okay. I think I am gonna use roiling magma for him because I think it still works better for him, and then I'm gonna switch to rock sling for eternal beast. I think that's what I'm gonna do because I still think that the roiling magma was actually working pretty well, like surprisingly enough, right? Like I'll bet some people were probably thrown by that, like how the heck? Because I was too. I was like, that's a pretty good spell. Because you don't consider the fact. Because remember, even I didn't realize it right away. You have to throw it at the ground, and then suddenly when you throw it at the ground, it explodes into that stuff and does a lot of damage, and you can channel it too. By the way, the spicy cheddar are pretty good. Damn it, I just did it again, didn't I? I'm stupid. No, I'm fine. I don't have the right staff, though. I think it's fair to say I probably will not get this on this try now. That's okay. We're 7-0. Help! One time. No! Yeah, last night, that roiling magma, like, I had that, like, going solid, where it was just, like, couple hits, you know? See, that's the stuff I was talking about was not really supposed to happen. Especially with me standing next to the mimic like that. Like, you shouldn't really just relentlessly attack me. That's stuff that was happening constantly last night. That really shouldn't happen every time. attack. That's what doesn't make any sense. But that was happening too. We were talking about that too. Immediately pulling aggro. See what I mean? Immediately pulling aggro. That's not supposed to happen. Sometimes I was pulling it like regardless of attack too. See how he's like avoiding my attacks for no reason? I was just about to say I'm gonna probably have to just die anyway because my mimic's too far. You know what I'm saying? The time I want to die. I won't make it in this drive. In fact, I didn't even really want that to happen. So you see how, like, conveniently right as I announced that I want to die. You see what I'm saying? Like that's the whole thing where like you have to rationalize what's actually happening there. Like those spaces, not some of the stuff that I was saying, but that stuff. Yeah, that is happening. That's the stuff that shouldn't be happening. And I documented earlier a couple times it happened with like mobs of guys where like 4 guys at the same time right away immediately were doing their best attack all at the same time. And like the very second that I was right. So that happened earlier too. I can't even target the guy. Like I can't even. See, this is what I mean. I need that mimic for walking. That's why I was saying I knew it's a lost cause at a certain point. I need the mimic. Yeah, like I said, I knew that was I don't have the, I have to have a certain amount of resources by the time I get to that final one. Or it's not gonna happen. Oh no. Oh no. When you don't have teeth anymore. That's what happens so often. In case you're wondering. That's what happens so often. Happens when you don't have teeth. I'll be drinking from Astrologer soon. See how stupid that is? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Just immediately the best attack, followed up by all these other ones. So I watched an attack just now not count. Did you see it? That just happened. I saw it happen even with Rock Sling. It disappeared into his body. Did you see that? And he didn't flick it away, he was kneeling down when it happened. So that's an example of a time when the animation, that's an animation glitch, is what that is. And That is a hack. Everybody knows that that's a common hack. An animation glitch is a common hack. So basically, right as the spell would hit him, because he is like doing an attack too, it cancels out the spell. It's not supposed to do that. Normally there'd be like fixes and stuff for that. That's a very common one that people know about. So, like again, it's just intentionally being caused because they knew about it. You know, like that's what I was talking about last night with glitches like that. So like, essentially because I was complaining about the spell 3 times in a row and stuff like that, then what they started doing is using that, knowing that was something that I was messing up on and mistaking for a glitch. They were starting to cause other glitches, and that's what you should have noticed. What you should have noticed is the other glitches. And just like now, where they're causing these other glitches again, and we see these, you know, like in real time, we see these exact ones happen again, where I consistently go in, and we know he's not supposed to do is jump in the air, best attack just immediately. We know that. We know he's not supposed to do that right away every single time. We know these things. It's supposed to be, you know, like, well, maybe I shouldn't say what it's supposed to be, because that's the point. Like, they, you know, I already explained why they do these things. So, it's for a reason. So yeah, like, they were just taking advantage of the fact that I was already sitting here drawing a crowd talking about something that everybody probably knew wasn't the case, was immunity or whatever. And now they were going to cause all these other glitches, and this one plus the other one, the inconsistencies with the aggro and stuff. Yeah, just right away. Doesn't make any sense. It makes 0 sense. Right away. So, right there it was again. My attack hit him and didn't do any damage. And he didn't do that. He was just kneeling down. You see what I'm saying? So like, that was a perfect example there where my attack hit him, but just because he was kneeling down, it didn't do any damage. It makes 0 sense. That is a definitive glitch being exposed over and over and over and over and over and over and over. There's nothing else to say about that. Yeah, that's a real problem. That's a real problem. Because you can't just choose not to cast or not to take advantage of that second when they're doing that. Like, of course you're gonna... Yeah, I mean, like, that makes no sense. It's never supposed to happen like that. just relentlessly attacking me. My mimic's just right there. It's pretty bad. It's glitched out pretty bad. If I were a sword build, I would think this is easy. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, if I were a sword build, I would think this is so easy. You don't have to worry about the patterns. Like that ridiculous thing that he does. Was cool. I should do that. That attack that he just hit was awesome. Oh man. It's flawed. Like, again, if that were supposed to happen every time like that, where he's just relentlessly like that, and there's no... It would be flawed. Again, that's not... We know that, like, that's not supposed to happen like that every time. And then, it typically happens when there's more concurrence in the stream. Like, you see that. You see the evidence of that. Take note of that, like... You know, these things that are supposed to happen randomly, where it's more of a randomized attack pattern and stuff like that, you know, where there's a chance of him doing certain things, you know, it's all of a sudden just all at once, every single time, and then as soon as there's nobody in the stream, then we beat, you know, or I get off the stream and it acts totally different. Like, you get what I'm saying, like, it's clear to see what's going on there. Just like God's can do them. Exactly like God's can do them. That's the first time I've not seen him. Yeah, I mean, like, that's the first time in the stream, right? That he hasn't done that attack. That one really, you know, like the Zeus bolt thing. That. It really is a shame that the game will sometimes use your flask a second time. Do you ever experience that? I do. I experienced the game just like we talked about, where like I moved all the way to my mount whistle, and after I moved to my mount whistle, it then proceeded to use a flask. I didn't hit it beforehand, I hit my mount whistle. And so like it's like clear that the system can't recognize, like, if you're really fast at scrolling to your quick, you know what I mean? Like, I just can't recognize that. Have to be closer. The spell doesn't work properly. It really doesn't. This is what I'm talking about. It acts different depending on where you are. That's what I'm talking about. Like, that's completely absurd. Watch. This is the shit I'm talking about. That's why it wasn't me, it's the spell. It acts totally different. Look, this is pretty flat here, like obviously it's slanted a little bit, but it's just hitting the ground. What the fuck? How does that make any sense? How does that make any sense? Now I'll show you what this spell does here. See how some of them are like going way down there? So, like, what the hell's the purpose of the spell if you have to stand directly in front of... Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, how does that help you? Why would I want to stand here to do the spell? Yep, that's where I gotta stand. But you see how, like, some of them are going down there now. So that's what's weird. I stand here and attack this target in front of me, but then I get all these other ones going across. What? But if I target something down there, that doesn't work that way. It just goes straight down into the ground. The spell is like, there's something, like, it doesn't work properly. And then I've seen other people stand... Hold on, let me see if this does this. Because I've seen people stand on a cliffside, and it just goes straight ahead. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, the spell acts totally different? I rest my case. I rest my case. The ceiling is too low. So, like, whatever ceiling they have for that spell, it's not high enough, and it's just starting, like, right above your fucking head. Yeah, a lot of good that does me when, again, it just hits the ground. Like, you see how it acts totally different now. Would have been nice if it would have done that when I was on the boss, in front of the boss, and it went that far. That's ridiculous. So yeah, like, you can clearly see it's absolutely not working properly. Just the spell doesn't work properly. That is the game. That's not anything but the game, because I'm sitting here going to different places, showing that the spell is different. Yeah, that's flat out them not adjusting the ceiling of the spell. That's all that is, because it just hits the ground right away. That's all it is. Like, the spell needs to start further up. It needs a higher ceiling. Does that make sense? Like the ceiling of the spell itself. Alright. Okay. Here we go. At least he didn't... Yeah, I mean, at least he acted right. You see how he focused on the mimic? Yeah, at least he did that right. Can't ever hit it. See, that's what's such bullshit about this that people don't appreciate. Is that with a caster, the the fact that this guy can just endlessly shift around, that I don't know that that's supposed to happen. I think that's a flaw. I really do. I think that he's not supposed to just jump from one side to another, because again, he's out of your cast range. So you're just endlessly running back and forth. That doesn't make any sense. So like, you have to rationalize like something weird's going on there. That doesn't make any fucking sense. I'm just running back and forth endlessly, trying, like, he's just going out of my cast range. It doesn't make any fucking sense. And that spell that I would use that works for that doesn't work. As I already proved, it literally doesn't do what it's supposed to do. So therefore, I can't use that. That's the issue. And, you know, it's kind of obvious. Again, no focus on the mimic whatsoever. That matters. Yeah, he's totally focused on me. Oh wow, did you see that? That's not supposed to happen. Yeah, I'm done. You see that? I watched him do his best attack with the bolt, and then watched him immediately do the same bolt attack again. Never. Never in a million years. Now I know somebody's intentionally messing with the values. Yep, I'm done. Now I know. And that's definitive proof. There's nothing else you can gather from that. Just one immediately. He didn't even charge it. Just immediately. Boom, boom. And then we see the two concurrents. Right as that happened, you instantly saw those two concurrents in here. It went from 0 to 2. Right when that happened, you see that. I don't need anything else to tell me what's going on with this. Nothing. I don't need anything else to tell me what's going on with this. And it's just like with Godskin Duo, where we can sit here and we can prove how... Remember, we were on stream. And as soon as we get off stream, we beat that, and I upload that relatively quickly. And not only that, remember the stream where I beat 3 bosses in a row like it was nothing? Malekith and all them, and then conveniently we have mic issues the whole stream. The mic is glitching out just like it used to when a certain content creator used to hang around the channel and get all jealous because we had all the kinds of concurrents and stuff, and he doesn't. And if you remember, that hadn't happened for a while, and then conveniently it happened as he starts showing up again. Now, also, you have to recognize too, I easily got all those bosses, and they knew that they weren't able to screw with anything. So that's how you know that they're monitoring what I'm doing. They knew I was launching Elden Ring, so they had to cause some sort of, you know what I mean? They knew I was gonna stream. That they're monitoring my my habits and my routine and stuff. So they knew I was getting on stream, and basically they hadn't prepared anything. So what they did was they caused that old issue that they used to cause way back, that they caused too many times that people were starting to pay attention to. So they caused it again, and you saw it, where basically one right after another, I did all these really difficult bosses that were in this area. This area that conveniently I started having all these problems with recently, where everything's just really difficult, and the mobs are doing their most difficult movesets all the time and stuff like that, where we literally beat 1, 2, 3 in a row, no problem. And again, conveniently, that was the stream where we had mic issues then, where there's like a technical issue then. So you see what happens where you know, like if it's not one thing, it's another. And you know, that's definitive proof where you know, you see with this boss what's going on there, where he does his best attack 2 times in a row, and that second time he didn't even charge it. It just immediately up in the air attack. Nah. Nope. Can't do it. No. Absolutely not. And I'm also noticing, like I said, notice that it shows up conveniently after like really aggressively after we start talking about things that can be disproven about what I'm saying. So like where I say the 3 full moon attacks in a row and I make a big deal about that, and then conveniently all these other things start breaking. That's what you want to pay attention to. Where I was wrong about something, and then conveniently all these other things start breaking. Where just because I was wrong about something, now this scammer shows up that's been doing this to break all these other things, because everybody, you know, like essentially to just make everything look as bad as possible. You know, like, because again, the reasonable side of it would be that no, it's just that I was wrong about one thing and then I can move on and fix that and do better. No, they're going to break everything and make sure that's not going to happen. So, and again, that's what that content creator does. He does this because he has these problems. He has anger issues, and I think I exposed that to some degree, and stuff like that. So he's causing all these problems for me, where it would look like that on this side of things, if you get what I'm saying. Where I exposed some things about him that were very obviously happening right in front of us, and he was like attacking people, attacking me, and behind the scenes doing a lot of stuff. And he literally can't be wrong either. He has to sit here and constantly watch, even though he shouldn't have any business watching my channel anymore. If we're going our separate ways and stuff like that, why is he sitting here always watching? Well, you have to, obviously you start rationalizing why he's always there and why he always shows back up to, you know, like spam certain things and have to show up in chat to justify things and stuff like that, you know. You know, just like the troll accounts that you see at various times and stuff. So recognize all of this immediately happening, and then conveniently, what I realized is that this person wants me to think it's 365. So happening really aggressively too. That's not his fault. That's not 365's fault. Obviously, he's probably getting ready for work or whatever hell, you know, like whatever he's doing. You know, like that's the point. This person wants me and like wants everybody, like wants to pin it on somebody else other than who was actually doing it. So they make sure it's really aggressive right when 365 comes in, or you know, there's legitimate viewers and stuff like that. We've seen this happen before. And again, like I said, it's because this person wasn't very smart and was absolutely foolish about who they let into their life. And they let some malicious people into their life that they should not have. But again, doesn't matter. They're still doing it. Now, in case you're wondering about this, I don't have this because this is like actually a special area. You don't need this. You actually don't need it. I eventually will probably do it, but it's like a special area I found out that you don't really need. But yeah, you can do it. But yeah, anyway, I can see what's happening here, and I documented earlier when, again, I was seeing mobs of guys where I would walk up to them, and immediately all four guys, all at exactly the same time, do exactly their, you know, just like that jump in the air bolt attack where they do their best attack, all exactly at the same time, in unison, all four of them. That's never supposed to happen. They're supposed to do maybe two of them, maybe one of them. The chances of all four, and that happening multiple times in a row. Nope. 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 Never. Not in a million years. No. 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 Never. Never. Ever. Ever. Never in a million years. No. The chances that's like if I sat here and fucking got a mount in a raid and WoW like 3 times in a row, like the best one, you know, like raid after raid, I got the mount drop 3 times in a row. These no, it's just not gonna happen, man. Actually 4 times. Yeah, since it was 4 of them. Like that's the point. Like you have to rationalize. No. Nope. Nope. Doesn't make any sense. And then, like I said, it was happening with, like, not just that mob, but many others, too. Where it was obvious that it was, like, escalating. And this person was doing this even when I wasn't streaming. So that's what the constant connection is for. Like, the phones and stuff like that. That's going on. Like I said, I can send... If my mobile data is turned off, and my Wi-Fi is turned off, my phone should be cut off completely. Nothing should come in. I shouldn't be able to send anything. Yet I can sit here and send text messages, see all my emails and all kinds of stuff. I can use Google services while all that's turned off. Interesting, isn't it? I think that's really interesting. That I can get. Yet, conveniently, when I'm expecting phone calls from, like, oh, I don't know, an employer or somebody important or something like that, conveniently, I look at my phone, it says emergency calls only, right around when I'm supposed to be getting a phone call. Oh, yeah, because, you know, somebody wasn't waiting for that moment to happen, disconnecting that signal on purpose, and doesn't have that automatic, an instant connection for that reason, obviously. And this is what I've been seeing going on, escalating for the past year, that I was doxxed all over this platform. Ever since that, I got doxxed all over this platform. That's what's been happening. And we're talking about a constant connection to my cellular device, where again, I can send text messages, check my emails, and all kinds of stuff with my mobile data and my Wi-Fi turned completely off, where nothing's supposed to go anywhere. Why is that? Why can I send and receive text messages? Not even through the Google app. No. Through whatever the fuck I want. Yeah. Why? Why? Tell me why. Tell me why that's happening, and tell me that that's not a way to hack somebody remotely without, you know what I mean? You guys know that I have stated before that we all have Bluetooth and there's Wi-Fi signals going everywhere, okay? So if your motherboard or something that you have has Bluetooth or Wi-Fi built into it, suddenly you have your answer. Regardless of whether it's deactivated, turned off, and I have a hardwired connection or not. Regardless of that. That constant phone connection is for that. It's for that. Duh. Why the hell do you think I sat here and showed you I could put my phone in a Faraday bag and it still doesn't cut off my own Wi-Fi signal? Huh? Yeah. A Faraday. Do you know what a Faraday bag is? Again, you should have looked at that stream, gone and looked up a Faraday bag, gone and looked up And then immediately realized how serious that is. My own Wi-Fi signal. I can literally... It disrupted the mobile signal just fine. Yep, nothing. And I had them both connected. I'm not talking like, you know, that's the point. I tested it both ways. And the whole point is, my Wi-Fi was just, full signal right through the Faraday bag. Oh. You know that's not possible, right? Yeah, so that's why it's fake. It's not real. That's a constant connection. That's called a clone. Does that mean somebody has my device cloned somewhere and it's just on all the time? You know that's what that means, right? And I sat here and proved this on YouTube with that stream I did, and it was like things only got worse. It's like how on earth you know, like I wonder how the FBI and the NSA, like, I just wonder, like, how they think they're doing their jobs in our country. Like, that's what I'm wondering. Like when that's going on, and it's so regular, and I'm proving all of this, I'm proving it's happening, I just wonder, like, how they think they're actually they're still doing their jobs, when, like, it's that bad. I could show you right now. I'm not gonna. There's really no point. But I could show you right now. It would be the same thing, where I have the connections turned completely off, yet I can send and receive text messages. You can look at all of my emails. Well, because that's what they're looking at. Yes. So therefore, that's what I can see. Yeah, I can see my entire Facebook timeline too. Yep. With my data turned off, just my entire Facebook timeline and all of Facebook just loads just fine. Yeah, isn't that interesting? Yeah. Isn't that interesting? I thought that was fascinating stuff. So again, while all that's going on, it's very easy to see that the stuff escalates all around, and then as I'm so eloquently like deducing and showing you the scams and showing you outright what's happening, they adjust and and try to make it a little bit better. And that's what's always happened. This has always been the message. You guys just have to pay attention to the better that it gets. You have to pay attention to the fact that these things don't make any sense and they escalate at convenient times. You know, like nothing was happening, Elden Ring is fine for a while, it was fine. Then all of a sudden, bam, we get to the end boss, bam. Things don't make sense. Not that he's hard. Like, I've called that out. The first time I faced the boss, I said, okay, he's doable. I just have to try really hard, do this right. And then every single time after that, again, that was the first time I fought him. And I beat the first guy, no problem. Second guy was like, yeah, he's really hard, but I think he's doable. I just have to learn it. And then, no lie, problem after problem after problem with the first guy. Like, where literally it was just obvious that they didn't want me to learn that second fight, so that way to peddle some sort of scam. So who's on this platform saying that it makes it like hard to learn, or it, you know, like he's picking on people and saying that certain things are hard to learn? Who on this platform is saying that? I'll wait. Who do you think? Again, this is who would have stock in that, in those words, who would be scamming other people and gamers, were to look like this. Because again, while all that's going on with my devices, you can't say it's not happening. You can't. When I've gone to great lengths to prove this and all the you cannot say it's not happening. And when that particular streamer has used things in the past where you know that they're toxic and you know that they use the ignorance of other people to their advantage. You can see that that's where they go with this. You get what I'm saying? You can see that it's very clear that it's either the scammer wants me to think it's that person, since that's the most influential person, or it is that person, since, again, it clearly is right along that little thing, where that lines up way, way too well with who would have the motive to do this. Does that make sense? And also, don't forget, don't let any of this, leave your brain where you forget even for a second that, again, my devices can see all of my Facebook timeline, my texts, my emails. I can see all that with no connection whatsoever. Completely severed. Nothing. That's been going on for a long time. And that ain't just me. Now, this was other people on my plan too, conveniently around when I was getting doxxed. And they were too. And then we work with the cell phone company and prove with them, document with them, replace the phone, replace the SIM, all kinds of stuff. They don't know. They know and they can't say. I promise you that's what it is. They know and they can't say. I promise you that's what it is. So, this is what you have to be concerned about. Is other citizens and just how many people in this country, everything we've been talking about, that sit here and actually want, instead of camaraderie and seeing other people do well and stuff in the trade and stuff like that too. No, they want all of it for themselves. They want to own the market. They want to take it over. They want everything. Their millions of dollars are not enough. And I'll be honest with you, like, that's where I come from with a lot of stuff, where you see all these people that are on this platform that claim to be, like, helpful and stuff like that, but then they're only helpful in a business sense. They don't actually give. No, almost nobody. I've even struggled to see this with churches lately, where even churches take, like, they don't give anymore. Like the word charity doesn't make any sense to anyone anymore. Like, nothing is given away anymore. And people look at this like that's how it should be, or something like that. Like, we shouldn't share everything. And that's wrong. It's wrong. And, the point is that if you think that you worked any harder than anyone else because you have millions of dollars, you don't understand what's going on. You don't understand the world. You know what I mean? Like, you actually don't get it. Because some people just get really lucky. And then they will never see it that way. This is, I'm not going to go too long on this, because this is actually going to be partially what we're talking about next in the intelligent topic, but, rich people are actually not as smart as you think. And there's a reason for that. Now, middle ground rich people, like actors and stuff like that, that's different. And that's what you need to realize. And we're going to talk about that, but it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad where people think that, like, all right, well, if they're a really popular streamer or something like that, and they have like millions of dollars and stuff, they look at it like, well, they worked for that, you know, that it's theirs. They get to, yes, sure, but at the same time, don't have a superior complex where you think somebody else, you shouldn't be accepting of others in the same market as you, knowing that they're coming up through and they're good too. Because if you appear to want like some sort of monopoly or like to take over, that's what we always understand as a bad thing, where you're trying to monopolize a market and take it over so that other people can't have jobs. You took their jobs, you know? And that's exactly what these folks are worried about. They're worried about people taking their jobs, but they're the ones taking their jobs. They took their jobs. And that's what we're talking about. We're talking about that kind of crap, that type of thinking where it's even embedded in the games, where you can see even the developers of this game are a little stubborn and with certain things, thinking they're right about certain things, where you can see like entire areas of the game where it wouldn't really change. Like again, why would it change anything about the game if I could actually take on some of these mobs, like here, before Godskin Duo, like those mobs that we're struggling with before Godskin Duo, where they're just one-off guys. One guy can get you with 2 hits. How would it change the game drastically, mechanically, to make it so that way I can just sort of kind of do that, instead of trying to just expertly dodge those guys every single time I go through, and then probably get hit and die and lose a few 100,000 runes. Please tell me how, again, aside from wasting my time, how it changes the game. Is the game designed to waste your time? Or as a developer, is that what you're trying to say to me? That you want to waste my time? Is that what you're trying to say? Because I really don't think that's what you want to say. So this is where we have to start looking at games and things like smarter too, where like, yes, it's a very good, intelligent game, but there's things that you could look at about the game that aren't intelligent, that just literally, the very second that I dismiss it as this logical, better way, you should say, yep, that's the smarter, fun way to do it. Why is it that when I go through this area, why would you want every one of these guys to have an impossible moveset such that one of them can get me with like 2 hits, but no, he does like 5 moves, and that's just one guy, and there's like 5 in there. There's like 5 different guys that can do that, and now I'm getting hit by 5 different guys that can hit like 5 moves in a row, but 2 or 3 take all your health away. That doesn't make any sense. And you're already like 50 levels above what you need to be here, and you're still having this issue. That doesn't make any sense. It literally doesn't make any sense. It literally doesn't make any sense. It literally doesn't make any sense. You have to accept the fact that you are wrong and change that and adjust the scale. And the entire game is that way. Except for... I shouldn't say that. I actually shouldn't say that. Because I like the scaling from here, like this whole map here, basically. Mountaintops, it starts to get that to be that way a little bit. But even mountaintops is a lot better than, again, just this feels like Erdtree. And then Erdtree is what I'm mainly talking about. But it's this and Erdtree. Like the Dragon Temple area on the Erdtree areas. And that's what I'm talking about, like the end game areas. And you have to accept that, like, even when I go back through, like I said, there'll be some areas even like down in here, you know, where I'll like fall into a cave or something like that, and I'm now stuck in a cave with all these mobs. One of them could take all of my health away, but there's like 10 of them around me. And now I have a few 100,000 runes, and I just fell in. Just because I fell in. Now I lost a few 100,000 runes, just because, again, I fell in. When I specifically took care to come back through here way later, so that way that wouldn't happen. It doesn't make any sense. Now you're penalizing the player for playing the game a lot? No, you've wasted my time. Nope, you've wasted my time. It's too much like real life. You've wasted my time. And that's why I started talking about that when we got to the Dragon Temple here, where it's too much like real life. So that's why they probably realized, they probably thought I was gonna like quit or not play or something. That's why I like freaked out about this. So that's why I got Gods Can Duo off stream. I was able to kind of make them think I was going to do stuff off stream. And then all of a sudden, I real quick got on stream. And then that's when you saw the unpreparedness where they weren't able to fuck with the game. Now, clearly I got like 3-4 bosses in a row, right? That stream, I got a bunch done. But yet, the whole stream, my mic was just high-pitched chirping and stuff. I was talking the whole time. I was like, oh wow, that was awesome. I got it in 3 tries. I was like, oh wow, Malekith is just the clergyman. That's amazing. You know, like, I was like freaking out about that. I was like, this is so cool. I didn't get to hear any of that. But the point is, you saw how I took on all those bosses, and yet the mobs here are just a pain in the ass. And the area's a pain in the ass. Yet, clearly, I was able to show, when making this scammer think I wasn't going to get on stream anymore, I was going to upload and stuff like that, I was able to show that. It was like super obvious. So you have to start noticing those patterns, and you have to start calling that out, where I have done that. You really will be, if you really do your due diligence to look at that, you will see those patterns. It will be undeniable. It'll be undeniable, because like you'll start realizing what some of the few people on here that are still coming back to see me have realized. They've seen it too. They can't believe how crazy it is. And that's the point. Like, they can't believe that people are, like, just more people aren't all joining in and saying, yeah, I see it too. Especially considering the fact that I've said the stuff about the phone. I've proven that stuff about the phone, the stuff that's happening with the phones, the stuff that's been happening with other things and whatnot. It's pretty crazy. So, again, where he jumps up in the air and immediately does his best attack without even charging it or any warning. Again, like right after doing it again, and it's just boom, boom. That's where I'm going to start calling BS. I'm going to start calling BS, and we see it happening too much, where, like, it's almost obvious that... Should I say it? Should I say what's happening? Alright, I'll say it really quick. A while back, I called for active updating. Do you guys know what active updating is, right? I basically called that Microsoft needs to take part in active updating and needs to be better at this, and maybe they did. They might have. Realizing how this could they could actually profit.
And unfortunately, when you profit from doing this, then that involves those cookies. So the problem is now they've put all those trackers on these things, and now here's what they're doing. Basically, the moment that you sit here, you're probably sitting here and you're probably trying to adjust the game so that I beat it. I guarantee, I'm not trying to be like mean or anything, like there is anti-cheat. They don't want you to cheat. They've probably recognized that they originally caused some problems for me way back because they thought some stuff. They tried to sit here and prove it and couldn't because, you know, I don't do that. So therefore, they were like, ah, shit. So now they're sitting here, they're trying to help, except all those trackers and stuff now got all to the scammers, and the scammers are now coming in, and they're seeing what they're trying to do, and it actually is a reach and a reach, where you have somebody reaching to help, and then you have another person, or a scammer reaching and seeing that and able to get information because they're reaching to help. Does that make sense? And so, therefore, because it escalated to what it did, nobody helped for too long. Now, there's too many bad guys aware of what's going on, and they're reaching in and getting data they shouldn't be, and it's too much. And so you see this give and take, where some days we go in here, and it's like, boom. It's like, you can tell, bam, I get 4 bosses in a row, no problem, you know, like just bam, I know how to play the game, I know what I'm doing, it's very obvious. And then other days, it's like, what the hell was that? Like, why was it just like everything in the game just systematically failing over and over and over? Data corruption. Because again, that active updating, where you have the ability to have a game with constant internet connection, even though it's in offline mode, where you're trying to improve the game, you're seeing something happening, and you want to update it as it's happening, so that way you can determine a better course of action for fixing it. But that's the issue, is that now that has trackers on it. So because it wasn't done the right way and it escalated and got worse, you get what I'm saying? Now it's like everybody, it's a free-for-all, where people are sitting here trying to reach out and trying to do things and seeing what I'm saying and stuff. But then you also have all the other people that are trying to cancel culture and that's why I went to a great length to explain to you, like in other countries and stuff where they think differently. You don't know, seriously, just how many people and how many, you could call it organizations even, that exist in other countries just specifically to try to cancel culture and play psychological warfare. You really can't appreciate that being in a first-rate country with your restrictions, your government, and your free thinking that allows you to find out about these things. You can't appreciate that. So, I mean, like, it's as plain as day to any of us that understand that stuff, when my phone can, I can see all those things without a connection. That's plain as day. Anybody's gonna be like, yeah, you never know. Like, if it's that bad, yeah, like, they could be screwing around with your game, like, whenever, you never know. Like, it's that bad. So, like, the whole point is that to do it in more, since I'm calling it out and I'm exposing it, the whole point is to do it in more subtle ways so that it just cancels my channel and successfully does that. Does that make sense? Like, the whole idea is nobody that promotes South Korean culture or culture in general, from all different spectrums and stuff like that, like K-pop videos that I react to and stuff like that, previously, like, that's the whole point. Nobody's gonna promote that, and they're not gonna sit there and let somebody promote that without, like, looking a certain way. They're just gonna sit here and cause problems for people. That's what they're doing. That's why, like, I had to, like, take a firm hand with certain people that were, like, going on the forums and stuff saying that, like, the certain fans of certain K-pop groups are, like, rich and stuff like that. Like, don't say those things. It's not a good thing. Don't you don't want a generalized notion that there's certain groups of people that are rich. Don't do that, or you're gonna get they're gonna try to take all your they're gonna take it. They're gonna try. If they know, don't do that. So yeah, I have to be done when I see that, because I know that there's gonna be interference for as long as they can see what's happening. Now, I know they can't see what's happening when I'm off stream. I do know that. But, oh, maybe I'll keep that. Maybe I'll keep it to myself for now. Yeah, maybe I'll keep that to myself for now. What you have to realize is every time I reveal how I figured something out and how I knew that they were interfering, like definitively, beyond a shadow of a doubt, they change it. Because it is proof. It's like, oh damn, that really does show it. And they change it. It's every single time. They change it right away. And it's been too many times that's happened. You can't... You just... No. The same thing always happening, but then just changes to something different. You know, like where it's obvious, like... obvious glitches and obvious things that aren't supposed to happen, but just... oh, it's something new every day. You know, like that in itself is a pattern too. So, you know, it's provable. You just have to have known and been following it. And if I was a sword build, then they would probably mess with the... you know what I mean? Like, they would mess with the build in that aspect. You know what I mean? So, since I'm not a sword build, then they would mess with it in that aspect. If that makes sense. So, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, they've clearly done certain things that they know, like the jump in the air, and like, they do certain things that they know will affect this particular build. That's all. You know, just like I said with the aggro and stuff like that. So they can't do things for too long, because then it'll be super kind of obvious. And anything that seems less obvious, they do that as much as possible. Like the thing where he does his best attack immediately twice in a row. That seems less obvious. I already counted that out. I already pointed that out, so therefore they can do that as much as they want. The problem is that the more they do it, the more obvious it looks, so... that's what they didn't count on. So, like, that's the point. They've been following this around and just taking notes on what I've been saying and adjusting over the years. So, since I've been sitting here sliding under the radar for too long, where people aren't hearing what I'm saying, that's why they're trying to detrend the channel and make sure people don't find out about it, because eventually enough people find out, they're going to start following the patterns and see what somebody's doing the whole time. It's going to be too obvious. That it escalated conveniently right after a certain, again, like, none of this was going on before a certain content creator. None of it. None of it was this bad. And then, none of it was this bad. It escalated again after somebody was doxing me all over this platform and my information all over their channel for basically a year. And YouTube didn't honor their policies on removing the person quick enough to not do enough damage. So that is very serious. And It is impacting my everyday life. So, you know, that's where we've already taken steps to make sure that people are held accountable. Because you can't, if something's going on here where it's affecting your everyday life, that's ridiculous. That's you gotta hold people accountable for that. So, and it's the sort of thing where if it's your job to make sure that this platform, you know, like there's not unethical, illegal stuff going on the platform, then you're the one that faces the, you know, like you should have done something. That's on you. So anyway, we have to notice these patterns, and I'm noticing them, and just like I said in the intelligence briefing with the psychological warfare and stuff like that, it's a way for people to not want to play games. You know, like it just does a lot of different things all at once. Trying to cancel a content creator. It does a lot of different things. And they've recognized that, so they're pursuing it. And so like it's up to you guys to be supportive of people and not toxic. It's up to you guys to recognize that, you know, when people are showing up in chat just to be randomly talking about politics when you're not even talking about politics on that stream, you're having a gaming stream. Notice how strange and weird that is. You know, like just notice that. Notice how like they just come out of nowhere to do that. Notice toxic people that come out of nowhere from accounts made that day. You know, the day that they came in chat just to be negative. Notice things like that. Notice the amount of times that happens, and notice that it's like a lot. So anyway, I guess that's enough of my little spiel. But you know, it's really you know, just like I said, even as I come on here and I explain to you guys, you need to notice if I explain to you, you know, at the beginning, oh, that's my bad, I didn't even use rock sling or try rock sling, blah 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 blah, and I specifically even note that I need to use it on the last guy, yada yada yada, and that the magma was working just fine, and then conveniently the first boss then starts doing things that would conveniently make it difficult for us to use that magma, where again, those things don't just regularly happen. We were using them on that last stream, where now it's inconsistency, where now we made the adjustment, and you get what I'm saying, where I call out the fact that I was going to make the adjustment of using rock sling, but then we don't get a chance to use it because we only trigger that last boss conveniently when I don't have enough resources. And I already called out the fact that that first boss was acting totally different every time we play it, where the very first time we played him, no problem. And when after that day where they got the response they wanted, where I was kind of like yelling and stuff like that, that's where you're supposed to notice when they get that response, they go away for a little bit, because when we're yelling and stuff, there's actual reviewers that come in here and stuff like that, so they're intentionally getting those people to come in here to see that response, so they suddenly disappear, and all the reviewers and modders and stuff like that that come in here to see if that's happening, all they end up seeing is something legitimate. So then that's what happens. Basically, nobody pays attention long enough. And again, I have to call it stupid. It's stupid. It's people that do their jobs every day and want other people to be wrong. They want me to be wrong. They just don't like me. That's what it is. It's literally just they decided at a certain point they were really mad at the way I was saying stuff or something like that. And they've been doing some of this. And they don't want to acknowledge the fact that they have started to harass and cause problems for me too. And that's what we've started to notice. That's what other people have started to notice too, where YouTube and, like Microsoft, YouTube, and various other companies should have done responsible, respectful things regardless of what I was saying, because I was the one being harassed on their platform. So that's the point. It'd be sort of like if a cop showed up to a crime and let the shoplifter or somebody, the person that stole something go, because the person that called it in was being a total bitch about it. Yeah, she was just, they were just ranting and raving, and you need to do something. This guy stole, and just like, well, no, I'm just gonna do nothing because you're a pain in the ass. It'd be like that. But doing it for like a year. It's like that. It'd be like if the cops just did that for like a year. Imagine that. You just like called, over and over, like just for an entire year. It'd be like that. I'd be like what it would be like. So that's what's been going on this platform and with Microsoft and various other companies that, I submit tickets to and I submit these reports to, and they just don't do anything. And then only respond after really getting loud on stream about it and making a huge deal about it. Then they suddenly answer the email, because they know that it's going to draw a red flag and stuff like that, and so they have to so then they answer the email, and then it's just like some bullshit lawyer wrote it. It literally looks like some bullshit lawyer wrote it, like a defensive statement. Nothing actually helpful. It's always defensive. When I'm the one being attacked, having a problem, and then they get it's like, what the fuck? So yes, you did something wrong. Way to show up and it's like, are you gonna do something about the thing that you're not doing, or? Oh, okay. You're really, really, really sorry about it. That's great. You're just gonna keep not doing your job. So that's what we're seeing a lot of, and then we get harassed for calling it out. Just like when I get harassed for calling out other channels. Oh, also, YouTube, I always know when the scam content creators are watching, because YouTube's algorithm is so trash that even if I've blocked them or unsubscribed to them and said don't recommend these channels, YouTube will sit there and recommend the channel of the person that has been watching my stream. So that's how I know certain people are watching, even though I've blocked them, unsubscribed, said do not recommend anything from this channel. Again, the content creator that I literally don't, again, he doesn't belong in my chat, he doesn't belong talking on here or anything like that. We parted ways and I blocked him. We unsubscribed from each other. Literally, he is gone. And I knew he was watching the stream the other night because YouTube randomly recommended a post. And it was a text post, like something he typed up. Huh? I don't even watch his streams. I haven't even gone to his channel and watched. I haven't even seen his streams, watched his channel, seen his shit. Hasn't come in my, as far as I know, come in my chat. Oh, wait, and then you start rationalizing. That's right. We had little trolls in the chat with channels made like that day. So, like, then you start rationalizing YouTube is literally just recommending this because their own shit algorithm is picking up on the fact that that person was in your stream and they have that account. So that's the only tie. Because it's the only way it can happen. That's the only way. And it's just consistently happening. Over and over and over, YouTube does this. They over and over and over recommend these channels. Again, like, that I've either blocked, unsubscribed, like, done a huge amount of things to make sure I don't get recommended that channel again. Then it just recommends it again. And now my bitrate is shifting around all over the place maliciously. Extremely maliciously. It hasn't shifted around the entire stream, yet right now it is shifting around extremely maliciously. So YouTube, why are you starting this nonsense again where you're shifting people's bit rates around extremely maliciously for calling out your fucking stupid bullshit? And then my concurrent counter is locked. As soon as I refresh it, it's clearly showing more concurrence. So YouTube, again, causing censorship where I would get all these viewers based on the fact that YouTube is fucking trash. That's it. It's literally that simple. It's as simple as the fact that YouTube is fucking trash. I've been pointing it out for literally years. YouTube does nothing except tries to cover it up more, which I have been saying for years. It's been consistent. They lie, they shift the bitrate around to remove views, remove viewers, remove trending, so that way you don't recognize that trashing YouTube on their own platform gets you more viewers. It does. It literally does, and they don't want you to know that. Yep, trashing YouTube on their own platform gets you more viewers. And we've seen this. It's not why we're doing it. We're doing it because YouTube is fucking trash. So, if YouTube could just stop being fucking trash, that'd be great. But, you know, YouTube is just fucking trash, and so we have to call it out again. Oh, here's another trash thing that YouTube didn't do right, so we have to call it out again. And at the end of the day, it's just YouTube being fucking trash. It's all just happening on YouTube. So yeah, you saw that. That was definitive proof there. Conveniently talking about something that YouTube should have done. And where it's making YouTube look guilty. And then conveniently we're getting all these viewers, and then the bitrate shifts around maliciously. And then as soon as it's done, as soon as I point out that it's maliciously shifting around, that concurrent counter is broken. We refresh it, and it says something higher than when it was before it was broken. So then you see clearly the lies where YouTube is trying to cover up the fact that if I sit here and I talk about how trash their platform is, and people find out about it, that it gains traction in the trending and people watch it, and they're gonna sit here and they're gonna actually fucking lie, take views, take legitimate views of people legitimately coming in the stream. They're gonna shift the bitrate around and lie and lock the concurrent counter so that you don't know that it trends the stream and you get more viewers and stuff like that. And then we'll remind you that a certain person, a certain streamer sits on here trashing this platform like basically every stream and makes revenue on that. So why hasn't YouTube given me what I am supposed to be getting? Like, you know, how we meet the prerequisite for super chats and member-only streams, and I don't have access to that, yet I meet both prerequisites. I meet all the prerequisites and have filled out the forms. So, why is Trash YouTube, TrashTube, doing that? Gee, I wonder. So, yeah, like, this is where you gotta call it out, and you gotta notice all these patterns all happening at once and put it all together. So that's why, again, I try to summarize and put it all together for you. For those who haven't been watching all these years that we've been documenting, showing this happening to me right in front of you. Where, you know, you have an entire platform harassing somebody. You have an entire platform just harassing me. Right in front of you. And this has been going on for years, that I've been getting harassed all over this platform. Again, my real name and address were doxed in real time in a live stream chat with 1,200 people watching. 1,200 people were watching that live stream chat. That this disgusting person typed my real name and address, my street address, so fast in a chat, that's all they could see. So fast, that's all they could see. Why are you lying about the concurrence, TrashTube? Why is the stream capped at 5? Yeah, it's pretty interesting that you're capping the stream at 5. Remember how we were getting all those concurrents last night? Yeah, and if you added all those up, the view count doesn't make any sense. So after we started complaining about things, they started subtracting views. That's what they do. So that's why they have capped them at 5. We would be getting more. This is TrashTube. This is like, again, YouTube. So what I figured out about YouTube is what they don't want anybody to know, and it's what I've been proving. That essentially, if you aren't with AdSense, which is who their main monetizing services, if you're not with them, they sit here, and again, it's pretty, like, again, you can get an AdSense, like, literally, you can do that. It's not really that hard, but they sit here and they scam people to not get one. So, basically, they lie about our views. If we get 8,000 views on something, they'll just cap it and lie. And they'll even try to remove some to make sure that, to make it look like they accidentally gave it more than it should have, or something like that. This is what they've been doing throughout the course of the channel. And, you know, just like where we saw 365 in the stream for like a half an hour. And he even said he was watching for a half an hour. And I've seen this before, even with myself, my devices, like some other people that told me this, where they're watching for like a half hour or so, something like that. And they're like, you know, they start talking and I ask them how long they've been in the stream. And they're like, well, I've been watching for this amount of time. And I'm like, gee, that's funny, because it said 0 for that amount. It's literally said there was 0 people in here. And so, like, this is what they started doing, since they have been trying to peddle this idea that nobody is watching my streams. And I have gone to great lengths to prove that's just not the case. Now they just start lying and saying it's like, oh, it's 3, it's 4, it's 5. No, there's like 20 fucking people in here. There's like 20 fucking people in here. And there's people cycling in and out, and they're just calling it 5. So that way it's easier to remove those views later, and you don't see these huge chunks of views coming off. It's a lie. And if you are monetized through third party, not AdSense, it's a lie. They're doing it to you too. Your views are a lie. They decide what they are. Now, for people that are bigger, what they do is they decide beforehand the amount they're going to give you and then slowly add it to the stream. That's all they do. That's it. So that's why after your stream doesn't actually have the amount of views that it's supposed to. That's why they started doing this. There's no reason for them to have done that otherwise. Why would your stream have less views than the total amount that it says at the end? Why? Why is that inconsistent every single time the stream ends? Why does your stream constantly go down to 0 or just have less views than you know it has at the end? Well, because they want to lie about some of those views and don't want you to know and start tracking it. That's what I was doing. I was tracking just how many fucking views they were lying about, and it was astronomical. I should have had, like, easily, like, we're talking, like absurd quantities, like 500-600% more views than they were actually counting at times. Maybe even more. And they're just lying about it. They're just deciding a number and saying that's all he gets. And that's why you see halted streams, because they're not actually halted anymore. Before, that's what they were doing, where they weren't allowing views. Now, if they know you've watched it, they won't allow your view anymore. That's what they're doing. And that's not what's supposed to happen. It's not how it works. So that's what they're doing, and also yeah, like that's literally just through testing. I've been able to test that. Also, don't forget, you know, that this has been, like, ongoing for many years. It's not something that I just, like, randomly came to the conclusion. No, like, we've been, like, I could see this for a long time, and I've been saying this. Okay? It's only just gotten more obvious. And this is why. Because, again, after the stream finishes, you can't deny the fact that your stream is always a different view. And that didn't used to happen, remember? And it started around the time the new CEO. Remember that? And this is the sort of thing where you can tell YouTube's all a scam. That CEO just wants to make a shitload of money and take all your views and lie about them. And so, yeah, that's what he's doing. So basically, he makes more money. If you work harder, he makes more money. He just lies about your views and decides what your views are, so that way they can always meet their budget and still give that CEO his bonus, you know, his raise, because the CEO is corrupt. The CEO of YouTube is corrupt, and that's why. So that's what you have to rationalize is it all falls on that person, and yeah, that's a very good explanation for that scam. And yeah, it arguably happened all around that time. One might, you know, like some of the people, some of the scammers and stuff that were coming in my chat and stuff like that, they were saying things like, well, scammers, I call them that, like spam accounts and stuff. They were even saying things like they thought that she was like the previous CEO was unalived and stuff like that. You know, like, we can talk about stuff like that. That's going to be an intelligent conversation. There are certainly some things to talk about with stuff like that, but it is an interesting topic to discuss. But what I will say is that I do think that the latest CEO is absolutely corrupt, or it wouldn't regularly be happening. You know, I wouldn't have been doxxed all over the platform, my street address and all that, with 1,200 people. That's a federal offense, you know that. It's a felony offense. It is a federal offense to do that. I looked it up. Can't do that. It is the definition of online harassment. The fact that the person did it that maliciously with that many people, it's because it was like over 1,000 people and stuff like that too. But like, that adds to escalates the actual charge. But not only that, it was the fact that it was to like a news channel. Like, it's the fact that it was like I was sitting there reacting to a news channel, and it like the person did this in the news chat where people are sitting there getting informed about stuff, and he just starts to like, that's where it's, yeah, that is a felony. Like, that is the definition of it. That person went in there with the intent to inform people of my personal and private information, 1,200 of them, and make sure that they all see it. And all the other times that they did it, and had it flat out had my address typed in the title of a video for like 7 months. Typed in the title of a video with my name added in it and everything. He stole the stream from my channel. Like, this is what we're talking about. We're talking about crap like that, and he would like use my face and the thumbnails and stuff. So he's stealing views, stealing trending. We had all this nonsense happen for, again, my street address typed in the title of a video for 7 months while I'm reporting this. I'm just reporting it, and just do nothing. That is a felony. That is a federal offense. And again, just because YouTube is YouTube doesn't mean somebody's not held accountable for that. Like, that doesn't mean, it still doesn't mean anything. It's still a crime, felony offense. So, that went on for 7 months, and so, like, again, when all that's going on, you have to rationalize all the other things that I'm noticing and calling out. I will call out myself just as I did at the start of the stream, and that's what they're counting on. They're counting on the fact that I shouldn't say it like that. They're adjusting. You know, because I am somebody that can call myself out. Now they're trying to adjust where, oh, I call myself out, so that has been bringing people back where I can notice my flaws and stuff. So this is the point where, you know, I really would be able to be one of the best streamers, entertaining ones too. And I'm not saying that out of like I'm better than like this person or, you know, comparing myself. I'm just saying that like they're taking away, you know, like essentially what you would be able to have, like what we would be able to do. And that's where you need to recognize terrorism when you see it, and it being orchestrated by YouTube themselves. You know, these companies themselves. So yeah, I don't need to see, again, I don't need to see it. I don't need to try anymore. I know what's happening. I don't need to see anymore. He didn't charge us. That ability, like, when I see that, he can't just immediately do it again like that. Like that, nope. Again, I could see if he charged it and did it properly, but just immediately rising to the air. Nah. Nope, somebody's... No, we know what's going on there. And, we'll just call it what it is for now. But like I said, I was gonna end my spiel, but I felt like you guys needed a couple more things there. Now I gotta get something going. What we're gonna do is... Oh wow, there's a new Warcraft. There's a new World of Warcraft expansion announcement. I didn't even know about that. Is that a patch or is that... That looks like an expansion. Apparently. Called Midnight. Didn't even hear about that. But yeah, that's it's a constant decided amount of concurrence. Like, you can see it. Like, again, if we had regular trending with the swipe feed where there was like people in the stream, the concurrent would actually count. Like, they'd be going up and down and stuff. Yet it's just like a constant, like, 5, 4, 5, 4. So, like, it's bullshit, man. It's made up. It's not, it's completely made up. And I'm not one of the people, like, with, like, the bots and stuff. I'm not doing that. That's not me. I don't do all that. I mean, I was using a moderator bot for a little while, but that doesn't count for your, that doesn't do anything. Just in case you wondered, it doesn't do anything. So, when we see that nonsense, where it's like an obvious issue where they're like locking the exact concurrent number. Now, again, right when the stream started, we saw instantly 20. It jumped down to 6, and then we saw instantly 20 again. But that's all that this says. If you remember, on the concurrent counter, we saw like 22 or 25 or something like that. Yet conveniently on the graph, they're lying, and it says just says 20. Yep, it's a lie. And then for the first time in I don't even know how long, you see 6 concurrents squeak through right as I say that. Notice that. For the first time in I don't even know how long, in the past hour or so, you see a 6th concurrence squeak through right as I say that. Imagine that. That's some pretty fascinating stuff, I think. So, yeah, this is a lie. It's made up. Again, we saw those concurrents at the beginning. We saw them say like 22, 25, right? Something like that. Like, it was different numbers. It wasn't 20. This graph says 20. It says 20 and then 20 again. So they have capped the amount of views that I can get, the concurrence I can get to 20. That's the cap. That's it. Interesting, isn't it? Even though we saw more on that concur counter. Interesting, isn't it? Yeah, we saw 22, something like that, 25. And we've talked about this before. Plenty of times. So, yeah, I guess that I honestly really don't think I need to say anything else. This is super obvious. Yeah. So yeah. We'll follow up on this. I was talking. Obviously, I've been reporting this to somebody that's been trying to, well, I'm not gonna say do that, but, yeah, like, that would be a bit foolish, I think, but, yeah, I have to, you know, do a couple things, so let me ask you guys something. After 2 hours in, and seeing all the concurrence that you've seen, right? The the instantly 22 concurrents, the instantly 20 something. What do you think the view count should be? Because they're lying about the view count now. So now they have gotten that to where they can lie about the view count. Because so they started doing this after they started picking up on the fact that I was screenshotting the end of every stream. And I was calculating just how many times they were lying. Yep. And then this started happening, where now the views are being lied about live. That's illegal. You can't remove views live. Can't do it. It's illegal. Not even in the sense that, like, it's a laughable sort of thing where somebody just says something illegal but they don't know what they're talking about. No, it's actually illegal. See how there's suddenly 6 in here, and it almost seemed like they were trying to break the concurrent counter. When I refreshed it, it like took a little longer. Did you see that? That's when you know they're trying to fuck with shit. They're trying to lie. Isn't that interesting? And then conveniently as I say that too. Now, I want you guys to take note of the fact that all these views, these view count, these concurrents are in here, yet that view count hasn't moved even an ounce. It hasn't moved at all. They are lying about the views. We see all these views coming in here, yet that view count has halted. It is completely halted. And I haven't seen it move for the past hour since we've been talking about this. So from the very second that we start talking about YouTube and the fucking garbage they're doing, they halt the view process where they start lying about the total views that I'm getting. Every single one of these concurrents that's been in here, that's constantly in here, they're lying. And the view duration's a lie too. The view duration should be like fucking 15 minutes. Because all these people are constantly in here this whole time, yet they're lying about the view duration. They're lying about the total views, too. So the total view count has been completely halted for the past hour and a half. Completely halted. And I just watched as we gain more concurrence and the concurrent counter goes up, I watched the view duration go down, the average view duration go down. How does that make any sense? That average view duration should go up as we see more concurrence and they sit in here longer. So why would the average view duration go down? Unless you're fucking lying. I'm literally watching it go down. It's just going down. Why is it going down? And again, more people come in the stream. 5, 6. And they sit in here longer. Yet the average view duration sits here and just goes down. And the views just for an hour to an hour and a half. Conveniently, as I point out, that YouTube is fucking trash. Literally from the very second that I start pointing out that YouTube is not accepting responsibility and YouTube is garbage and YouTube is doing illegal shit. Right from that very second, conveniently, we're not counting views any longer. Remember when we had a stream that, oh, and now the bitrate shifts around. The bitrate started shifting around right then. Just then. Hadn't been shifting around, by the way. Remember when we had a stream where we talked about, we had an intelligence stream, and we got to a certain point in the stream where we started gaining like 30-some concurrents. There was like 30-some concurrents in here. And then all of a sudden, right then, they started maliciously shifting the bitrate around all over the fucking place. Yeah. And then, conveniently, right when they started doing that, my view count halted. Even though we had all these concurrents, my view counts halted. And we know all the people were in there watching, yet the system, YouTube's trash, garbage, piece of fucking trash system, was saying, oh, there's zero, because the goddamn bitrate is shifting around all over the place. So, conveniently, as we would trend, and as that stream would get into the thousands, it doesn't. It halts around 900 or so, just before there. And then I sit there on stream for another 2 hours. And in the first 2 hours of that stream, we gain hundreds of views. We gain most of the views in the first 2 hours. Yet, after all of this happens, the bitrate shift and all that nonsense, conveniently, as we sit there for another 2 hours, after the bitrate shift, all those concurrents are just suddenly gone. Suddenly gone. The view count halts. Completely fucking halts. And then we even start getting more in. So as we start getting more in and they start coming back, the bitrate starts maliciously shifting around all over the goddamn place. So then, as conveniently as it does that, then the view count halts again. And again, you see views being taken off live. I see it go up to 906, 7, 908. It starts going up, and they start subtracting views. It starts going down to 903, 902, 800 something. And then I finish the stream, and it's like upper 800s instead of in the thousands, where it would have been had they not started fucking lying when all these 30-some plus concurrents were coming in the stream, and they started shifting the goddamn bitrate around all over the fucking place. So that's YouTube lying to AdSense, lying to data brokers, trying to convince them that we don't get traffic. Yet, because the very fucking second that we do, they start shifting the goddamn bitrate around all over the place. And I have used every ounce of effort to prove to you that I can sit here on multiple streams. I'll sit here and fucking stream on 3 goddamn devices on my network and not have a single fucking disconnection. It ain't me. And then conveniently, we see, again, that this scammer can sit here and just instantly shift my goddamn bitrate around all over the place. So YouTube, again, at fault. YouTube, at fault. And thus, we've proven that it's literally just YouTube. When they can remove this person, they can do whatever the fuck they want. We know what's happening. And I proved this. Literally, again, as people come in here, the average view duration halts and goes down and doesn't go up. You know, we see 64 fucking views. 64. 64. When instantly there was 22 people in the stream, and instantly there was it. And remember, it went from 22 something down to like 6, and then all the way back up to 20 something. Right now, the bitrate is very maliciously shifting around all over the place. Right as I say this, the very second that I say this, that I'm pointing out the exact numbers, the bitrate is shifting around all over the place. The very instant that I point out the exact numbers, the bitrate is shifting around all over the place. The very second that I point out the exact numbers, the bitrate shifts around all over the place, very maliciously, extremely low. That is on purpose. That person that's doing that is doing that to those numbers. So, again, 20 fucking 2 concurrents instantly in the stream at the start. then it goes down to like 8 and 6. Not 0, which is what it said. The lies that it told you. And then it jumped back up to like 23 or something like that. Instantly, we had basically about 50-some concurrents at the start of the stream. Instantly. Yet you're gonna sit here and tell me that the stream has been at 64 views for the past hour. No, you're fucking lying. That's a lie. We have 6 fucking concurrents in here constantly, and you're saying that the stream is at fucking 64 views. No, it's a lie. You're lying. That's a lie. Literally, the entire stream, I can see it's 2, 3. These are the concurrents, the whole stream. 2, 3, 2, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 4, 2, 1, 2, 2, 1, and then that dipped to 0 that wasn't real. And after I refreshed it, we saw it jump right back up. 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 4, 3, 3, 3, 3, 4, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 4, 3, 5, 5, 4, 4, 4, 4, 5, 4, 5, 4, 5, 4, 5, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, 5, 5, 4, 4. All these concurrents in here, and the stream is at fucking 64 fucking views. No, that's literally a lie. It's literally a fucking lie. And as they do this, they push the bitrate through. That bitrate shift that just shifted around halted the view process again. Just now. Yep, the views have now halted again. So it doesn't matter that all these concurrents are coming in here and just constantly in here. But after that malicious bitrate shift again, now the view count is no longer moving again. And again, we prove that YouTube is this fucking garbage that, again, none of your views count. It's just predetermined by whatever scammer wants to sit here and fuck around with YouTube's garbage system and knows how. Yeah, that's the reality. That's the scary reality, is that it's not predetermined by anybody that's responsible. We're talking about predetermined by any scammer that knows how to sit here and fuck around with YouTube's garbage system. Because again, I can prove to you that, again, my bitrate didn't shift around the entire motherfucking stream. Yet conveniently, as we're sitting here and they know that I'm looking at the graph, then they shift the bitrate around. Because they know I have the browser open, and they know this does things. So therefore, they're gonna sit there and do something to cause a problem for the browser. That's what they're doing. That's all they're doing. Which does affect things for YouTube's analytics. So again, it is highly illegal to just sit here and fuck around with that shit. Highly illegal. Again, it's harassment, and again, it messes up the numbers. Again, the average view duration, the views have halted. You just watched somebody come in the stream and leave. You just watched an additional view come in here and leave. The view duration's not going anywhere like it should be. The view count has completely halted and is halted now. Hasn't moved anywhere. Completely halted. They're literally lying. They added 6 views. Yep. Since I said something earlier about it not moving from 64, all they did was add 6 views to it. Yep, 6. I can literally sit here and count the individual views on the graph below, and it sure as hell doesn't add up. Literally just lying. Yeah, even if I subtract every other view that isn't just the top concurrent, you still don't reach the number of views that the stream's supposed to have. Still. That's how I know it's fucking made up. It's literally fabricated. It's bullshit. They're just giving you the lowest possible amount and hoping you don't figure it out. So that's literally, again, just a scammer. Any scammer that can fuck with their system. I do have to report this stuff before a certain time to somebody. Again, YouTube is literally just garbage. And they sit here, I have seen this countless times, where I show the YouTube studio, and literally YouTube sits here and all they're focused on is how it doesn't look right. Yeah, like they fix the UI, like the UI looks cooler. Yeah, now the UI looks cooler. But they didn't fix their own fucking garbage trash system where somebody can just sit here and dock somebody's name and address all throughout their fucking channel. And they didn't fix the fact that somebody can just shift my goddamn bitrate around all over the place from YouTube's side of things, because that's your stream, YouTube. That ain't fucking coming on my side of things. Nah, they ain't doing shit. They're doing it into your fucking stream, YouTube. And again, you're just sitting here halting my views, halting any viewership that I get past this view count. You're literally just lying. So again, that view count will not say the proper view count at the end of the stream. And if it does, it's because it's to make me wrong. Because you guys know it doesn't. It never does. Literally, it never does. Literally never. Never. Never once. I have never once seen it. And again, it'll constantly be like shitloads of views, and it'll just take it way back down. That's why they're trying to block that fucking concurrent counter, because they've realized that real people are starting to add it up, and it don't fucking make sense. That's why they're sitting there and they're lying about the concurrent counter. They're trying to break that. Because even if you just add it up from that, it do not make any sense. It does not. Absolutely not. Never, never, ever, ever does it ever fucking add up. And that's why they're sitting there doing that. So that's why we have, and then you can sit there and you can do the math yourself. And that's the point. All those streams that we had where we had live views, all they're going to do is they're going to get it caught up. So, like, all the views after the fact, they're going to add as the new ones on the stream, but they're only going to wait until it's caught up until the end view count that it was at the end of the stream. And then it gets halted. Bam. Done. That's why the halting process happens, where they're only backing it up to a previous version of the stream, and then so now it confuses it, and they're using a VPN to do it. It's literally as simple as knowing when you're on a fucking VPN, if you're on a VPN in a server, and the server's in another country, and then you look at your own fucking stream, and it says it's still live even though it isn't, your system is fucking trash. Your garbage piece of fucking system. Like, why the fuck can I figure that out? And YouTube is so goddamn trash. You have to be some of the dumbest motherfuckers on the planet. Seriously. If you can't figure out that I'm on a fucking VPN, and I'm looking at my YouTube stream, and I've ended it already. It's like 5 hours later, yet the stream still says it's live, even though Oh, right. The VPN is on a server in another country and it's live. Oh, yeah, duh. So it's like super obvious. It's just constantly live in other countries, even though it's not. So they fuck with your stream. And YouTube is responsible for that. They know it. They are doing that on purpose. Just like when they end my stream abruptly for no reason whatsoever. It is absolutely their fault. And that is on YouTube. That is them. They are doing that. So when I can sit here and I can see my fucking stream still live, you're the stupid one, YouTube. And it's your fuck up. And I've been saying this for fucking how long? Idiots. Bunch of fucking retards that work at YouTube. Seriously. So, this is what happens. And I call them out for how stupid they are. And they look dumber. They look dumber. They just sweep it under the rug and do something even dumber. Every time I do this. Or like a bunch of people show up to fucking harass me even more. You know, just because I'm calling them stupid for being stupid. I'm sorry that you are doing stupid shit that affects the safety of all the streamers on this platform. Like, sorry that I'm calling out your stupid shit, but how about just stop doing stupid shit? How about that? Just like with all these concurrents just now that just came in here, all these concurrents coming in here, they only counted one more view. One more. That's it. That's all I saw added. One. It's like you're just making shit up. It's unbelievable how fucking stupid. Like, you gotta be like some extra special kind of dumb to think that like somebody's not gonna notice this eventually. Like, how the fuck, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I literally sat here and I've been noticing this for years and calling it out. The point is, how the fuck could somebody actually sit here and be so stupid that they would think that, oh, I can just get away and nobody's gonna notice this is happening? Durr. Like, I really have no idea how you could be so dumb to think that. But anyway, anytime I've ever announced what the view count is of the stream, or shown it, they shift the bitrate around and they try to get the views caught up so that way it does reflect, so that people don't notice how many views are missing. Trust me, I saw it on Penguin Zero too. I saw it with him too, and they fixed that shit right away. Because I was saying that like the next day. I should have screenshotted it. That was stupid. I should have screenshot. He had just finished a stream and it said 0 views. Nobody believes that. And why are they doing it? And they were doing it to everybody for like that whole week. They were doing it to like everybody because I raised a huge red flag. So they were doing it to everybody for like a week. It was like everybody. And, you know, like I said, I saw it with even Penguin Zero, where he finished the stream, it was hours long, and it said 0 views. And that just messes up the algorithm. That messes up the views. It's a lie. It's never supposed to happen. Yet, it's every single stream on my channel. Every single fucking stream. That view count does not match what it finished with. Every single fucking stream. Every single one. And right now, there's somebody coming to the scammer that's doing this, is coming in the stream and leaving the stream to intentionally affect the average view duration. I watched him do it just now. I watched him come in with his little concurrent and leave the stream. And then you wonder why we have such a constant, you know, like when we're complaining about this, why we would have such a constant concurrent count. No, I mean, like, it should be obvious why that is, and why those aren't counting toward new views, and why they're not counting toward the average view duration. It should be very, 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 very fucking obvious why all of that's happening. And why, again, why they're in the stream, all the stuff that's happening with the game, all the nonsense. It should be very obvious why they're in the stream. Yeah. And it should be very obvious that, again, conveniently, while they're in the stream, their views aren't being counted. Again, the average view duration is not being added to, yet they're in the stream. Uh-huh. Imagine that. So I gotta get this done. I have to. So, yeah. You can see the bullshit. YouTube is at fault. That's YouTube's fault. All of it. All of it is on Google. The fact that Google owns YouTube. All of it is on that. So, thanks for hearing me out here.